Hello, hello. If you would like to join me for my currently inked fountain pens, then stay tuned. Okay y'all, so I haven't done a currently inked video in a little while, so I thought I would do that. This little pouch is fairly new. It is like a tool roll pouch. This is from Wonderlust, which is a TSL brand as well, or I should say Wonderlust by TSL. And so they have like a pink pebbly leather with a black full grain that's on top. This one is full grain as well, but it's just pebbled. And I just thought I would kind of show you that really quick. So let's open it up and we will get to my currently inked. So these are not all of my fountain pens. These are just the ones that I am currently using on a regular basis. What do I use my fountain pens for? This is new leather, so it doesn't want to open. Currently, I am using my fountain pens for my journals. I'm using them for my planners. I use them for writing weekly in my sermon notes book and my prayer book. Pretty much anything that is going to require a fair amount of writing, then I will pull out a fountain pen for that. So these are my currently inked. So let's get into it. So I also have my swatch book here as well, so that I can just kind of show you guys really quick some of the pens and how they write. So we'll actually start with the Quecos. So I have a few Quecos, which I didn't have before, but I really just love having these little pocket pens. They are so fun and I've just really been enjoying them. So I bought one more for my Hobonichi weeks. I have this one awaiting. This is the it's called the Macchiato. This is the sport line pen. So it is a plastic material, but super lightweight, very easy to write with. Most all of mine are double broads because I really enjoy fat writing when I'm writing with a pen. So just kind of set this aside. So most all of them are double broads. I want to say maybe the white one recently is just a regular broad. Let's see, I can't remember. Yes, it is, because that's all I could find. I couldn't find the double broads with that one. So I'll write with those, I believe. And then this is like their violet purple color, super pretty. You have to buy the clips separately, but I did buy clips for 3 of them. And again, the double broad with the gold nib. It's not really gold, it's more like a gold plated, but let's go ahead. So I do like that you can post them and it's still a very small pen in your hands. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just the right stuff. Go Wonder Pets. Sorry. My kids used to watch that all the time. Now they're in their 20s, so I'm not sure if that's a thing anymore. But every single time I pull these pens out, they write without fail. We'll see if every single one of them does that, but so far pretty much they always have. I haven't used this one in a while, so this will actually be at least 2 weeks. So let's see if it writes instantly like that one did. Yep. So see, this is just this one reason why I really, really, really like the Quecos, because they really have just been little workhorses and they're really not very expensive. I highly recommend for first-time buyers to get one of these. Then let's see, the white one. I use this one pretty much every day because it's in my weeks. So, so there's that. And then the macchiato. I haven't used this one for at least a week, probably. And so you're probably saying, well, why do you have so many inked then? Well, good question. I have so many inked because I originally started with this one. I haven't used up all the ink yet. So when I use up all the ink, I'll probably just stick it aside until August, which is when my new Alazon planners are supposed to arrive from Vanderspec. And the same thing with this one. These two are my everyday writers in my B6 planner and my weeks. So these ones I'll keep inked up with whatever ink I decide to use. But yeah, so those are my everyday writers. So those are my 4 Quecos that I have. So I'll set those aside. Then on that same kind of cheap line, I have a Pelican Twist. Really pretty, obviously purple, but it's like shimmery and has all the colors. This one does not, it writes fine when you start writing with it, but I can almost guarantee you it's going to be dried out and not write. Call me a liar. Yeah, no. See, I just knew it. So it takes it a little while. So here's a trick that I learned from a fountain pen buddy. Let me grab a paper towel. So if you have a stubborn pen like this that does not want to write, get yourself a cheapy water pen, fill it with water, obviously, or else it's not going to do any good. And then take your water pen, and usually I do it like, let me get you in frame so you can see what I'm doing. Usually I do it with a paper towel. I take a drop of water from that and I just swipe down the front of it, and there we go. That will help prime it, and you can see already that the dots coming out are colored, and so now it'll be a little watery because of doing that, but it basically starts your ink back up, and then you can write with your pen again without any issues. So that's just kind of like a neat little hack. So when I am, so like say for example I go to church and I like writing my sermon notes at church, so I will take my pouch. Come on, it's all plugged over there. Take my pouch. I have my Rickshaw 3 pen sleeve with the plush interior, and I super recommend this to anybody. I have my water pen in here. I take, as you can see, you can see I've used it, a random paper towel, and I just kind of fold it up and put it in there with my pens that I'm going to use. And then no matter what happens, I always have something to start my pen up again if it dries and it doesn't want to work. So that's just a quick hack for anybody that has a stubborn cheapy pen that the cap is clearly not sealing it enough and it's always drying out. So that works. But so this is the Pelican Twist. It's okay. I honestly, I did not recommend this one in my cheap fountain pen recommendations video because it doesn't keep going. It dries up a lot, and it has a grip very much like a Lamy, and the same with the nib, and I'm not a Lamy fan. So heckle me, hate me, do what you will. I'm not a Lamy fan. I know some people absolutely love their Lamys. I have a couple, and I'm just not a fan. Okay, so next I'm gonna do two. These are my only two vacuum filled pens, and I did talk about this one. I'm still planning on selling this one. I really want to try and use the ink as much as I can, but yeah, it's just not my vac filled pens are not my favorite. I way prefer a piston, but it is what it is. So this one is the TWSBI Vac 700R, and I don't have it open, so I'm not, there it goes. I'm not sure if it will write. Let's try it. No. I don't know. I feel like as still very much a fountain pen newbie in a way, even though I have a number of fountain pens and I have been using them for a few years now, I still am a newbie at it. And I will say that I don't know, maybe I've watched videos from like Goulet pens and a couple other places, and I really have struggled with Vac Fill pens, and I don't know if it's just me or what the deal is, but I have really struggled with Vac Fill pens. So but see how I can get it with the water to write every single time. TWSBI Vac 700R. So with the Vac filled pens, because there's a plunger, you're supposed to open the top to allow the flow of ink to go down through into the feed, but I still really struggle with getting it to start like all the time. So I don't know. And I really feel like it's just me, honestly. I don't think it's the pen, but this one is, I forgot to look. This one is a broad nib. So, so you can see the broad is pretty fat when it comes to writing. So, and that's what I enjoy. I know not everybody likes that, but I have big handwriting and I like big fat ink. So this is an Opus 88. This is also in a broad. This is also a Vac Fill pen. It is writing well today because I used it yesterday at church. So, yeah. So, but it does, this one does skip a lot. Like when it's actually writing and not skipping, it's super smooth. But then, and there's no feedback. So I'm not really sure why now and again I will be writing, see, just like that. I will be writing and it just stops. And I don't know if it's my angle of how I'm writing. It's very well possible it's the angle, but I don't know because I've tried a number of different ways and it seems like it does it a lot. Like when I lift it up, it does that. very often. So I have to kind of go back and rewrite over it. But it's still a nice pen, and this is probably one I'll keep just because I like to have at least one Opus. But yeah, so that's the Opus 88. Then I have this is Woodshed Pens. This one hasn't been used in a while, like quite a while. I was trying actually to get it to work, and I was struggling with getting it to write. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep it out. And it's been a little this one's a little scratchy, the nib, and it's a Jowo 6, I believe. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just using my ink water thing again to try and get it to write. I'm gonna have ink everywhere. So yeah, this one's scratchier. It's supposed to be this is a medium and not a broad, so it's definitely finer. Not like a super fan of the nib on this one, so either it needs to be tuned or I need to just put another nib on it. But it definitely has more feedback than I like when I'm writing with it. So, but I just kind of had it out because it was one of those ones that I was trying to get to work better and struggling with. So that is that, and you can purchase his pens from Woodshed Pen. He does custom turnings. He's a bespoke pen turner, and you can find him on Instagram. And then the next one, this is a it's a Pent, and Sailor, I'm thinking. Yes. Sailor Pent. It's a 14 karat. Yes, this is a 14 karat nib. I've been writing with this one recently too, so it writes pretty well off the start because I've been writing quite a bit. I was trying to see, I think it's a medium. I'm not 100%. I'm not a huge Sailor fan. And I know that people are gonna be like, yeah, and maybe it's just me. I've had a few, and the 14 karat nibs are supposed to write really, really well. And I've had a couple of them, and they've just been like really scratchy and just not like super smooth and refined from the start. So yes, could I get it fixed? I could, but so yes, I do like this pen. This to date is currently the most expensive pen that I own because this was like over $300 for this pen, and probably that is more of my frustration, is that I spent so much money on something that I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm just not feeling like it's as good, it's worth $300 when like a little, you know, $30 pen like the Quecos writes really way better. Size wise, you can see that it's really not far from being a pocket pen. It isn't, I don't believe, classified as a pocket pen, but it's pretty close in size versus say like the Opus, which just looks huge when you're comparing it next to this pen. But yeah, so there is that. So I do like it, don't get me wrong. I'm not like completely knocking Sailor pens. I just feel like there's a bit of an overhype, in my opinion, for the price point. So maybe that's a better way to say it. But it is purple and it's sparkly, so there's a bonus. So then the next 3 pens that I have, these are all bespoke pens that were hand turned by 2 different makers. So these 2 here are actually from Wood Wonders of North Carolina. This is, both of the materials are from Carolina Pen Company and the blanks, and Wood Wonders of North Carolina turned these for me. Both of these have Bach nibs on them, and I think they're like a 7 maybe, not entirely sure, but a fat kind of medium nib. They're fairly comparable to the Jowo 6, I believe. So this particular one is a little scratchy. It probably could stand to be tuned a little bit. I've tried like all of the things that you can do yourself to try and smooth it out a little bit. But yeah, this one's just a little bit more scratchy versus this is the same exact nib. And this one definitely writes more smooth. Both of the inks that are in here are fairly light inks, so this actually looks green and it's really not. It's more of a pink, but it's kind of like a pink and green. It has like both of the hues, so right now clearly only the green is coming out, which is kind of funny. Let's see it turn to pink. It's already slowly turning, but a little bit of feedback, but not too bad. So I definitely like this one. And then this one writes super smooth. This is a Scriptorium, and this one has a gold-plated Jowo in broad, and I will write up here. This one just writes like butter. I really enjoy this pen. The only thing I don't like about it is the clip. It sticks up too much, if you can see that. So it does catch on a lot of things, but the pen itself just, I mean, it just writes so well, and the ink that's in there flows really nicely. So yeah, so that's it. That is all that I currently have inked. As you can tell, I really like fat nibs. And I really prefer the ones that are bigger, that allow my fat handwriting to have fun, and that generally is like the medium slash broad, double broad way. That's really what works for me the best. But these are currently all that I have inked, that I use, and as I finish up the inks in some of these, I'll just clean the pens and put them away for a little bit. But this is kind of where I'm at right now. I do have plenty of other pens that are just sitting in the drawer, cleaned and waiting to be used next time, but this is what I have going right now. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below, like and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. I super appreciate each and every one of you helping me to grow my channel, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!